We have extra seats in here. Okay. Oh, it is on a little delay, isn't it?
It's about 15 seconds.
That's weird.
Who knew? That might be good. Can I start a half a minute early? Was that okay? Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:59 and a half. You can put down 7. I recognize that we have a quorum with all members present. We do have an addition to the agenda, and I would entertain a motion for that.
Yeah, Madam President, I'd like to make a motion that under letter F, new business, we add line 13, replace, and it shall replace board policy number 1220 to follow current Indiana Code 20-26-5-4.3.
Thank you, Mr. Mann. Have a motion to amend the agenda to follow current code as opposed to our current policy.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler, for the second. I will make a comment just so that our audience and people online know what it is. We will be hiring a new superintendent in May to begin work on July the 1st. Our current policy is out of date because the legislature has met since we did that, and the current code allows us to have a 10-day, at least 10 days before we hire a new superintendent, that in the same meeting we can have comments from our public concerning the terms of the contract. It does not allow you to vote on whether or not you like the terms, but it will have the salary, what benefits there are, and the length of the contract in it. And it will be advertised at least 10 days before our May 11th meeting. It may actually be earlier, and it will be found on our website as soon as we have come to that agreement. Okay. Any other discussion before we take a vote on the amendment? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion to amend the agenda as presented, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, entertain a motion for approval of the amended agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Haltom. I have a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda. Are there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. I understand from Mrs. Stokes that we had no one sign up to speak at this time. So we'll move on to routine matters. First, I have a request to approve the minutes for the executive and regular sessions held on February 9th, 2026, and the work session held on Saturday, February 21st, 2026.
I'll motion to approve the minutes for the executive and regular session on February 9th and the work session on February 21st, 26.
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for both February the 9th and February the 21st. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have approval of our claims and financial reports. Mr. Linton.
This evening, I'm requesting the board to approve claims for 2 payrolls and vouchers since our last board meeting in the amount of $3,428,406.62.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims and financial reports.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Haltom. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve the claims and financial reports as presented. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. And next, this is our evening for our second reading of Board Policies, Volume 38, Number 1.
As I had mentioned during the first reading, I've reviewed the policies with our Neola rep, and we have a board committee that has also done that, and the board's had them since our last meeting. So if there's any changes that need to be made, we'll need to discuss those. But if not, we'll recommend approval.
Make a motion for approval of Board Policy Volume 38, Number 1.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and a second to approve board policies as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Now, our favorite part of it. Mrs. Elkins, would you like to kick us off with our student of the month from the elementary school?
But our student of the month was not able to make it tonight, but Miss Tyler and I were talking out in the foyer, and we played, oh wait, she just walked
She
in.
just walked in. Perfect timing.
Charlotte,
Come on up here.
that was perfect timing, and your face is that right?
You say,
Yeah.
What you told us.
That's right. Yes, she did.
You see Miss Tyler back there? She's back there working, Mrs. Well, come here, Charlotte. We're going to talk about you. This is our board of directors. Do you see them right there? And they are in charge of the school, and they do such a good job. And they're so proud of you. You know why? Out of 500 students at Cloverdale Elementary, you were nominated to be the March Student of the Month. That's a pretty big deal. I know. And Mrs. Tyler nominated you. Mrs. Tyler, can you tell Charlotte why you nominated her?
Well, started with it. I mean, I really want to job to do. You're just kind of always doing the right thing. And trying to work hard.
Right. And she loves to research about animals. And when you grow up, you would like to learn about all kinds of animals and do research articles, right? That's a pretty big deal. Who did you bring with you this evening? Who's with you?
Mom, my day.
Well, we're glad that you guys are here. Mr. Sandy, the PE teacher, had nothing but nice things to say about you, as well as Miss Tyler. Mr. Sandy says she's always doing what she needs to be doing in class. And you know, the best thing is you always help your friends in class. You're that type of student that all your classmates can depend on Charlotte to be making the right decision every day. And that's pretty important. She likes to play with your toys at home. You like to be with your family, and you love to draw and write articles, right? So that's pretty special. So congratulations. Like I said, out of 500 students, you were picked as Cloverdale Elementary Student of the Month. And then you've got a plaque that has your name right there on it, and you can keep that forever and ever. Mom, you should be very proud of her. We're proud of her. So come and sit by your family. You can. Nice job, Charlotte. You know, it's going to be awfully fun to watch her grow up and see her graduate here in about 12 years with Mr. Stoltz. That's awful special. If I may, I have another person that I'd like to recognize. I have the March Employee of the Month. So is it okay if I go on and do our
Absolutely.
March? All right. Miss Bessel, come up here. We have lots of teachers here tonight for Mrs. Bessel. Not only then lots of teachers, but you also have your family with you tonight.
Yes.
And Mrs. Bessel has been at Cloverdale Elementary for a long time. And the best thing you can say about Mrs. Bessel is she cares about our young students. Every year she comes to me and she says, will I get to come back next year? And I said, oh, Mrs. Bessel, you are always going to come back next year. And she says, well, may I stay with our youngest students? And I said, absolutely. Mrs. Law, I know you've worked with Mrs. Bessel for a long time, and what would you like to say?
Definitely talk with me.
And you put on a rough day in kindergarten, you look successful. And she always says, we're going to get through this. We're gonna be okay." So I know that you all don't get to see Mrs. Bessel every day at our school, but there is not a more dedicated and caring adult in our building than Mrs. Bessel. And I love having her there every day. Would you like to talk to our board? Till tomorrow, right? Well, here's your award that says you're the March staff member. And Miss Bissell, I can't say anything but great things about you. I tell you every day, you're my favorite, and you are my favorite. Thank you.
Okay. I've got two students that I get to do today. Is Brady here? I thought I saw Brady come on up. Brady was our February student of the month, but he couldn't make it because he had a wrestling match. So, or match me to match, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a pretty good reason to miss, I suppose. So anyway, when we asked Brady what he did to be successful in school, he said that he chooses good friends who will influence him for good and works on making sure all of his assignments are turned in. His favorite subject in school is science, and that is Miss Furman, right?
Yeah.
In his spare time, Brady likes to play video games with his friends, and he likes playing football. This year they got to play at Lucas Oil, and I'm pretty sure you scored a touchdown there, right? Two touchdowns. I only saw one, so that's all. No, I'm kidding. Brady's teachers had many great things to say. Miss Schroeder said, Brady's always cheerful and respectful to peers and adults. He encourages others and is a true leader. Mrs. Halloran said, Brady is a very bright student. He is funny and charming and respectful and hardworking. Mrs. Abag said, Brady is great to have in class. He's kind and respectful, funny, and very intelligent. So we are proud of Brady and happy that he could be here to represent the February Student of the Month.
Thanks.
Gage, come on up. Gage is going to be our March Student of the Month. He told me that last year he got Student of the Month as well, and they had to hurry from the basement. Or was it you? Last year they had to rush to be here, and he was in his get up last year too for practice.
All right.
So, but he's here. We asked Gage, what do you do to be successful in school? And he said he makes sure that he's able to get all of his work done, and he likes to focus on quality over time to make sure it's right. He makes sure things are correct, or he makes sure to correct things that are wrong. He likes social interactions, but the work comes first. So I wish some other students could have that same philosophy. His favorite subject in school is math. He's in the advanced math class, and he likes it because it's challenging. He considers it fun because he likes to think about that subject. In his spare time, Gage likes to do sports and stay active. He likes to hang out with his friends. He likes listening to music. And he also likes family nights. So I'm interested to see what that's like. But in his, let's see, thinking about the future, Gage is considering to be a pilot. He likes to travel, and he thinks a career in aviation would be a good fit. So that's interesting. Gage's teachers had many great things to say. Mrs. Mumaw said Gage is a very hard worker who's willing to help others and do what's right. Mr. Siddons says Gage always shows incredible sportsmanship. He's the first to cheer on everyone, and he handles every tough game with a positive attitude. Mr. Metzger said Gage is an excellent choice for Student of the Month. He works hard in class. He has a great sense of humor. He's turning into an excellent percussionist. He does a great job balancing his academics, athletics, and his responsibilities in our band. So again, Gage, we're proud of you, and we're glad to have you as the March Student of the Month.
This is Ella Dickens. She's our high school student of the month for March. She comes from a family that really appreciates education. I know that as they've spent their time in it, but also she is actually going to be an elementary teacher when she grows up.
Yes.
Yeah. We always laugh because I've never seen her without a smile on her face. I mean, no matter what the situation is, it may start off a little gloomy, but it comes back around. She is so positive, and I think all the students want to hang around her because it just grows on them. Like I said, Mrs. Scott nominated her this year in March. Who's with you today?
My mom and a listener in.
Miss Newton. I know she's in your classroom, comes over every day. Can you tell us a little bit about her? Good. Thank you for saying that for her. I couldn't say it any better. It's no different to high school. She enjoys her cadet teaching class and government. Her hobbies and interests are teaching and FFA. She's received many awards and honors: Ambassador, Academic Super Bowl team member, Indiana Rising Star, Cumulative Honors, Academic Jacket winner, Academic Excellence in Horticulture, Academic Excellence in AP Literature and Composition, and she's a National Honor Society member. Her plans are to attend Indiana State University, become an elementary teacher. The teachers had a lot to say about her, and I'm going to kind of paraphrase some of them, but I know Mr. Turk had to say, "Congrats, Ella, on your most appropriate selection as Student of the Month. We marvel at your superlative GPA, the kindness you share with all, and your refreshing outlook on everything." Mrs. Scott said, "Ella has made an outstanding contribution to our school community. Over the past few years, she has proven herself to be an exceptional student and a natural leader who leads both with heart and integrity. In the past years, Ella has represented her classmates at both homecoming princess her freshman year and junior prom princess her junior year. It is obvious that Ella is well liked by her classmates." Mrs. Spada said, "Ella is amazing. She is smart, beautiful, and kind. I wish her the best." Mr. Schnepp, he wasn't laughing when he said this. He said, "Ella, regardless of the circumstances, always seems to have a positive demeanor. She is an excellent student in the class and is just a good person." And last, Mrs. Obbix had this to say, "Ella is great to have in class. She always participates in discussions and is very kind and respectful to everyone around her. She is always willing to help others in the class as well." High School Student of the Month for March is Ella Dickens. I will say this also, Ella is one of the classes. Stay up here for a second. There are 9 of them above a 4.0 this year. And so it's a really strong class. Mm-hmm. And so when we have our top senior dinner, she'll be one of those individuals we get to see there. But she is a fine representation of Cloverdale High School. Wow. Thank you, Max. Thank you.
I did Mr. Clayton Eggers up here. Thank you, sir. And I didn't see Miss Corey Meskel anywhere. Not here today. Okay. Well, thank you for coming, good sir. How are you? Who'd you bring tonight?
My mom, my grandpa, my grandma, my other grandpa and grandma, and then my mom and dad.
Gosh, y'all fit in one car? Okay, all right. That's a good answer. Oh man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to be able to introduce Mr. Caden Eggers as the Student Resource Officer of the Month for the month of March. Miss Fiddler nominated you this month, and Miss Fiddler had nothing but nice things to say about you. Caden Eggers is always polite and respectful to others. There is not a person in middle school who would have negative things to say about Caden. He goes out of his way to help Mrs. Wiley keep the library in order, often giving up his recess time. He also volunteers to peer students, tutoring and struggling students without. Man, I need a tutor right now. And struggling students without prompting. Caden is a leader in the 5th grade who deserves to be recognized. I will say, if you know me in my line of work, probably not a good thing. But I haven't had a whole lot of run-ins with Caden, so I'm happy to hear about that. But Caden, everybody I talk to has nothing nice but nice things to say about you. So the March Student of the Month is Caden Eggers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, at this time, we will ask that all of the recipients this evening exit, and you can take your entourage with you, but we need to have pictures. But before I let you go, um, Mr. Caden, good for you. Being a good citizen is really, really, really important. Then, little Miss Charlotte, there's something I noticed about you. You never broke eye contact with Mrs. Elkins while she was speaking about you. I hope you always do that with the adults that you're around. That is a very important skill to be successful in life. You're not looking at a phone while somebody's talking to you. So we really appreciate that, young lady. Then my middle schoolers, I love middle schoolers. I always have, I always will. And yes, they do behave differently at school than they do at home. Okay. And I will tell you that my oldest nephew, when he was in middle school, his mother called me and said, I don't know what to do. And so she told me what had happened. And I said, well, this is what happens next. And she says, how do you know this? I said, I spend every day with these kids. So, but don't worry. When they get to high school, ignore their freshman year. But after that, they're okay. No, it's really true. And both you and Brady, I'm so proud of you that not only are you good students, but you're also athletes and represent our school so well. And I'm assuming you're playing baseball. Okay. And you play football. Do you also wrestle? Yes. So football and wrestle. Keep it going. Do you do anything in the spring? Go ahead. No. Good. You take spring off so you can be outside. Keep it up. And above all, keep with the sports. They're very, very important and will give you lots of lifelong skills forever. Now, Miss Ella, what can I say about Miss Ella? What you said about her always having a smile is so very true. I've gotten to know her a little bit better here in the last few weeks as she applied for scholarships as a senior. Um, I'm really thrilled that you're going to Indiana State. I'm doubly thrilled that you're going to be an elementary education teacher and hope you would think about coming back to us. But do I have it right that you're also going to be in the Honors College? Being in the Honors College at Indiana State's a big deal. She's going to get to be with a fine group of people in her dorm and interact and get more one-on-one help in a bigger setting than Cloverdale. And you represent the ideal Cloverdale student. Thank you for doing that. Now, Miss Karen, my goodness, I know that schools can't run without instructional assistants, custodians, cafeteria workers, and all the people behind the scenes. But knowing Tara and Anna as well as I do, and the other three kindergarten teachers, they are truly blessed to have someone that cares about our little ones. And we appreciate everything that you do and will continue to do. With that, and oh, one other thing. Thank you to all of the teachers that are here this evening to support our kids and our staff. That's really important to us, and that's what makes Cloverdale special, is that our people care for our kids, and encourage you to keep that up. That's a positive sign. With that, you may exit. If you choose to come back, you're more than welcome, but you're under no obligation to do so. Thank you so much.
job, Gage.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, now you can hold that over and.
what's his favorite subject? Not math. Is it math?
Probably. All the one.
Oh, mercy.
Oh, we sure know how to clear out a room. There we go. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, you're practicing being church member sitting in the back pew. You're right, I can. I have an unobstructed view. Okay, we're ready. We have no old business, so we'll proceed with new business. Our first is to approve the voluntary annexation of school property.
Make a motion to approve, for approval of voluntary annexation of school property.
One second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have approval for an employee retirement benefit.
Yes, this evening in the board packet, I have a request for one of our employees who is not a part of the collective bargaining agreement, who is nearing retirement, to add a benefit that we had for some other employees in similar group.
A motion to approve the CCST employer retirement.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Holton. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the employee retirement benefit as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve middle school homebound instructors.
Yes, in your board package, you found a request from Mrs. Miller to approve 3 Cloverdale Middle School homebound instructors for 3 individual students who need some extra help.
A motion to approve the 3 CMS homebound instructors. I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the middle school homebound instructors as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we request approval for special ed teacher stipends.
Yes, the last 2 or 3 years, Cloverdale Community Schools have provided all of our special ed teachers a stipend of $500 for every student. They have over 30 students on their caseload to help compensate for the extra time that's incurred in completing IEPs and working with the students. So that's outlined in your board packet, and I would request the board to approve that this evening.
I'll make a motion to approve the teacher stipends.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Holton. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve the special ed teacher stipends as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve an additional special ed teacher at middle school.
Over the past several weeks, excuse me, we've been reviewing our special education program throughout the school corporation, really as part of our board retreat comments and discussions that we've had, in an in-depth look at the student-teacher ratio. It was clear that our ratio at the middle school was higher, not only within our district, but then it was some of the participating schools for our ONT. Fortunately, we have the revenue coming in that we can support additional teacher at the middle school. So I request the board to approve this new position this evening.
Make a motion for approval of the CMS additional special ed teacher.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve an additional special ed teacher at the middle school. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have approval of the elementary and middle school summer stipend day for I-Learn teachers.
Mrs. Mellick and Mrs. Elkins have identified the teachers that would qualify for the stipend, but basically we provide a day for them in the summer to get together with their grade levels and review the results of test scores, make plans for the following year.
I'll motion to approve the summer stipend day for I-Learn teachers at CES and CMS.
I'll second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. I have a motion and second to approve the elementary and middle school summer stipend day for all of the I-Learn teachers. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, I have a request to approve to list the old CHS softball fencing as surplus equipment.
Well, if you notice when you pulled in this evening, we're getting some new fence put up out at the softball field. So we'll have a new perimeter fence and then also the perimeter fence to be able to allow softball kids to have a gate. And because of that, we have some surplus fencing that we would like the board to declare this evening so that we can move that along.
I motion to approve the old CHS softball fencing and surplus. That's surplus, sorry.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to declare the softball fencing at the high school as surplus. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have a request to approve donations for the middle school and the high school.
This evening, we have 1 donation for the middle school and 6 donations for the high school, 7 in total that we would ask the board to accept this evening.
Motion to approve the donations for the middle school and the high school.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mrs. Haltom. I have a motion and a second to accept the donations to the middle school and high school with deep appreciation.
And lots of thank
you. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, we have professional leave requests.
This evening, we have a long list of requests. We have 19 in total that we would request the board to approve tonight.
Make a motion to approve professional leaves.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. I have a motion and a second to approve the professional leave request as presented in our packet. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of field trips.
We have 9 field trips that we're requesting the board to approve this evening. All of the field trips meet the requirements of our board policy. One that I'd like to highlight is the 8th grade trip to Chicago. Like last year, the school corporation will fund the vast majority of that trip for our kids. Because of our relationship with our online school provider. They provide a lot of free field trips, and we do reciprocate that for all of our kids here at Cloverdale. The free field trips that way, and that's a big trip for our 8th graders to get to go on at very, very minimal cost to the kids. So just proud that our school corporation is able to provide those opportunities for kids.
Motion to approve field trips.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mrs. Carroll. I have a motion and a second to approve the field trips. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. Next, approval of facility use requests.
We have 7 requests on the board docket this evening that we're requesting the board to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the facility use requests.
I'll second.
Was that you, Katrina? Thank you, Mr. Reitmeyer. Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. I have a proper motion and second to approve the facility use request as presented. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. And next we have personnel.
And request the board to approve personnel as outlined in your board packet.
Motion to approve personnel.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Fiddler. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve personnel. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion carried unanimously. And last but not least, we have number 13, a request to supersede our board policy for hiring a superintendent to follow current Indiana code.
A motion to approve replacing the Neola policy to follow current Indiana code.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Lewis. Thank you, Mr. Mann. I have a motion and a second to approve following the Indiana code and superseding our board policy. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Motion approved by unanimous vote. Board and superintendent comments.
I don't believe I have any comments this evening.
I'm going to put this out to John Q. Public. We've had considerable discussion in our board retreat about community support and participation in all of the good things that go on in our school. I know it was a very long distance from Cloverdale to Switz City during the sectional. I felt sorry for our cheerleaders and somewhat for our basketball team that we had more cheerleaders than we had students in attendance. As a board, we're going to try and figure out how to take care of that problem where we can get kids interested. 60 years ago, and yes, I'm that old, I was a sophomore in high school, and the Cloverdale Clovers went to the Final Four, and that one was an all-class tournament. So we were 4 out of the over 200, almost 300 schools in the state of Indiana to be there. We came very close to having another sectional championship Saturday night. Those kids played so hard, and they have come so far in the last 2 years. Our football team has been very successful. Our golf teams have been very successful. Our softball and baseball teams are very successful. We've got a lot of good things going on, not just in athletics, but in our school. And I would like to see more support from our parents and from our students because they deserve it. And especially to our students, this is the best time of your life. I've never had any more fun during my entire school year than the March of 1966. And to miss out on that opportunity, you will regret it. And with that, thank you all for coming this evening. We are going into executive session following this adjournment. So I'll adjourn the meeting at 7:38 p.m. Thank you all.